This man did not ratio an entire scene just to still have .com in his Twitter handle, for God's sake.
I am not above laundering money to get the Twitter handle. I'll say it publicly.
And that's how we get the show canceled.
Let's be best friends.
Hello, I'm Cole Sauer, and welcome to Let's Be Best Friends, a podcast where I talk to people that I barely know and try and convince them to be my new best friend, because in times like these, who needs enemies? My guest today is a Melee commentator and the man who single-handedly ratioed an entire community, The Cheat.
That's me. What's up? Glad to be here.
What's up, dude? So I want to start with how did it come about? Because you've been in the scene for a long time. So like, how did the Summit campaign? If anyone out there doesn't know, if you're not into Melee, you're just listening to the pod. Summit 11, Super Smash Bros. Summit 11 was a huge Melee event. It was like the big return after the pandemic. Summit is a thing where you can it's an invitational, but people can get bought in, and there's like incentives. There's like a whole campaigning sequence. It's a very big deal. And basically, like, you and Yingling kind of got in with like a storm of a campaign.
Yeah, for sure. I actually didn't catch the vote total because today, when we're recording this, is the day that the final two participants for Smash Ultimate Summit got in, and I didn't see the final vote total for them, but I think it's still true that Nick has the most votes of any Summit vote in of all time. Which is absolutely insane. But yeah, I mean, I guess to kind of go back to the beginning, like one of the very first things that I did as part of the Smash community was host this house tournament at my parents' house while they were out of town called Seagram's Smash. And Nick, who ended up being, one of my first friends that I made in the community, was there, and that was the first thing that he actually came to after moving to Arizona from California. So we spent the time period between 2015 and 2021 just accumulating Nick Yingling memes. He was a very big part of the community, right? In terms of the ship posting. Not only that, but also as a tournament organizer, he helps me run Smash Camp, and he has his own tournament series called the Nick Yingling Experience. And so he is the kind of guy, and this was evident in the campaign, where he will go out there, shake hands and kiss babies. He's name searching on Twitter to be involved in the conversation about his Summit campaign. Yeah. He's the kind of guy who's posting on Facebook every day, promoting his events and stuff like that. So he's accumulated a lot of friends within the community, and it certainly paid off for him when it came time for Summit campaigning. Yeah, for sure.
You guys, it was funny because it reminded me of because I feel like the early days of Smash Summit campaigning was these wild thing. It was 24-hour streams and people eating onions and blending up McDonald's, crazy shit. And then I feel like it kind of died down, and then you guys came back with this huge grassroots. It was just a big shitpost that it feels like it's a shitpost that got way out of control.
Yeah, exactly. It feels kind of good that we were able to accomplish it without embarrassing Nick too much. It feels like there's a sort of genuineness about that. I think, I don't know. We probably would have been willing to do some of that stuff if it came down to it. But no, I think, not to gas us up or anything, but I think just all the people involved in it, just, hammering away, making content. We pulled out all the stops too. We gave away frame 1 controllers. We gave away spots to Smash Camp. We really used all the resources that we had at our disposal. Yeah. And yeah, it created something I don't think that we've seen before, really.
Was it always when you guys started doing it, were you guys Yingling's getting into Summit? Whatever happens, this is going to work? Or did it start it's so hard to tell on Twitter if it's this is a bit that got out of hand, or if it was no, this is a campaign and we only know how to shitpost.
Well, so we we thought that there would be some support, right? Like we knew that there would be people who would get on board with this. But I think we vastly underestimated how many people that would be exactly. I don't think anyone would have guessed that, I don't know how many people changed their profile picture to the fish from SpongeBob, but it had to be over 100. I legitimately think I probably will never know this data, but I legitimately think that Nick would have gotten an unpopular vote for Summit also, and not just, the money total at the end of it. We knew that there would be something there, something that people would want to latch onto at least a little bit. I don't think any of us guessed that it would be as big as it was.
So when it started to gain that kind of traction, it was funny because on Smash Twitter, I feel like I saw half the timeline was fish. It was I am Nicholas Yingling and fish and ratio by Air Yingling, and that's it. And the other half of the timeline was people going like, "What the fuck is happening? Like, what is with this fish? What is with the ratio? What is happening?"
Yeah, I mean, it was polarizing for sure. I think it's safe to say that although Nick wasn't the worst performing Summit player of all time, because Jello and Nunn did go to Summit and not win any games, and Nick got one on the board.
He got one.
That he probably is the lowest skill level player ever to be a part of a Summit, which I understand being frustrating to some people who are fans of, for example, Magi or S2J or someone like that. But it was too good for us to pass up. Like it was, I think anyone, if their friend was in the same situation, would at least try to do something like it.
Absolutely. If I made like an offhanded joke that I decided to take seriously and it worked, like, what are you gonna do? Oh no, I don't want to go to Summit. Like I actually would rather stay home.
Fuck no, we had to. This is what we had to do.
Yeah,
we had no choice.
It's a mission from God.
Yes, exactly. We used our one times.
And what a one time it was. I want to talk more about your time in the Melee scene, but while we do that, we're gonna here on the show, if this is your first time watching at home, I know that Mikey here this is your first time being on the show. We like to try and make the conversation as cool and natural and chill as humanly possible. So I always ask the guest what is something that they would like to do while we talk, something that's going to make them feel more comfortable. And we decided on playing a little bit of some friendly Melee. Now, I am not that good. Let me start with that. But I also think this might be the weirdest matchup that is ever going to happen. Because I know that you're a Luigi main.
That is true.
I'm a Dr. Mario player.
Oh, hype.
So this is gonna be weird.
Yeah, I will give you the Luigi for the fans, though. I have not been. Admittedly, I have not been playing a whole lot of Luigi lately.
What's your secondary? What's your do you have like a go-to other than Luigi?
I've been playing a lot of Spaceys, both of them kind of interchangeably. Because I do think, I think Luigi kind of like broke my brain as far as Melee goes a little bit. I developed a lot of bad habits from playing Luigi that I'm trying to break. But I still go back to the plumber every now and again for sure. Yeah. Okay. You need my connect code, right?
What's your code?
It's Mikey Mikey #1.
Ooh, he gets the #1.
Yeah, I paid for it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm Cake293.
Cake. Okay.
So let's kind of start. So I'm surprised if you paid for one, you went for Mikey 1 and not the cheat.
Yeah, most people in the community call me Mikey, I think, who know me.
Okay.
Rather than my tag. And I would probably change my tag to it if I didn't already change my tag from $2 slices to the cheat, and if there wasn't already a Mikey in the community.
So, okay, see, $2 slices was the first one?
Yeah, that was the one.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah, it was a weird joke from from what was the tournament? I think it was Smash the Record, like the first one in Florida.
Yeah, right.
From that stream. And I didn't want to have my tag just be like a smasher joke like that. Yeah. So I changed it to the cheat, which is a reference to Homestar Runner, if you're familiar.
I am familiar. I was gonna say, so
Yeah.
I know it's a Homestar Runner joke, but so was that just like, so what made that? So you went from, I don't want to have this like niche weird smasher joke as my tag, so I'm gonna instead have Homestar Runner, which is arguably equally as niche.
Yeah, I think our niche should kind of, I don't know, maybe it was a bit of like a hipster thing where I'm like, this is, I felt like it was cooler because it was more niche or something like that. But, I loved Homestar when I was a kid, and my brother's tag is also Homestar. So I changed it to kind of like match with his.
That's so sick. Do you ever play do you play doubles with your brother at all and just go as a Homestar Runner team?
We haven't in like a long time.
Right.
We're both kind of doubles haters to an extent.
Right.
But we've run it a few times for sure.
So you're on the double hater side of the board, yeah?
I guess not vehemently or anything. It's just like, I don't know. I prefer singles for sure.
Okay.
All right.
I lost the stock, so let's.
We'll restart right quick.
So a casual cheeky best 2 out of 3 for the fans.
Sounds good. All right.
Good luck. Have fun.
GLHF.
What? So when was the last time that you played in tournament? Other than I assume you played at Smash Summit.
I played in the commentator crew battle at Smash Summit,
right?
And then a bunch of friendlies, of course.
Yeah.
I went to a local the other week.
Ooh, nice.
I've been to a couple since the pandemic has been, at least like since people have started getting vaccinated. Arizona has opened back up with locals a little bit.
Right.
Everyone's vaxxed and everyone's masked up, so feels okay.
What's it like getting? Because I know that you're kind of like one of the, I'd say, figureheads of the Arizona Melee scene at this point. Like, what was it like getting back from the pandemic, especially now that you've got all this like momentum coming off of Smash Summit of being like, yo, AZ's on the map? Like,
yeah, I do think that things are, at least temporarily, like getting a little bit of a boost from that. Like, we've been having a couple locals in a row now at one of our tournaments where like Axe, Meds, and Ty are all showing up.
Right.
Which hasn't really happened since like, damn, it must be like 2017 or something like that. Because Meds lives in Yuma. So he's making the drive. He's made the drive for 2 consecutive weeks now, actually.
What a pal.
And he's actually got like a overwhelmingly positive record on Axe in the period. It's like 6-1 in his favor.
Really?
Yeah. So it's a bit of an exciting time. And I think that the online thing has created some opportunities that are looking nice going forward. We now have like a specific online new players weekly.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, it's opened up some nice new opportunities for us. Yeah, and Smash Camp is, I guess, my main involvement. And that's going to be happening again in 2022.
So as a TO, like how much do you think the pandemic stuff is actually going to carry over for Melee? Like, do you think online events are still going to be anywhere near as prevalent, especially for like new players who don't necessarily like want to see if they can make it up to the local and stuff like that?
I do think it's going to be like a huge bump from what it was before when there was like delay-based netcode, obviously. I haven't really like taken a look at numbers for like online weeklies since the summer began or anything like that, but it seems like there's still most of the ones that popped up during the pandemic are still like operating.
Okay.
Which I think is super cool. Like, I'm concerned about locals kind of hemorrhaging because of it a little bit. But ultimately, I think we're at a point now where like people are going to show up to majors no matter what. And I think that's what really matters for us. So
Smash Camp 2022.
Yes.
How's that looking? Because I'll be honest, I love Smash Camp. I've never been as a lovely Canadian citizen. It's hard to get to AZ.
I gotcha. Yeah. I don't know. It's gonna be I think a lot more of the same. We're hoping to bring out a lot of good players. We haven't opened up registration officially yet, but we do have a lot of good players who are interested. I'll say that. We have like, I think the last I saw the number was like 15 top 100 players who were talking to about coming out for it already. So it's looking to be another nice one.
Nice. So what was so I assume you started in the scene as a player, like I would assume everyone does.
Yeah, for sure.
So for one, did you start Luigi? Were you a Luigi from the beginning? And like, what was that like? Because I feel like as a low tier guy, you would see it the same. Of like when I show up at the setup, everyone's like, oh, fuck. Can't you just play Falcon or something?
There's always a little bit of that. That's kind of seeped into my like choice to play other characters.
Right.
It's like I don't necessarily want to be the guy who's sitting down playing Luigi at the setup all the time.
Yeah, you don't want to necessarily always have to be that guy who's like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, right. Like I don't know that my progress in the game necessarily warrants that, and I have fun with other characters too. So it's not like it's just for other people or anything. But yeah, I've been a Luigi main since like 2001 actually.
Holy shit, OG.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I was out here playing Luigi, and then I learned what wave dashing was. I was just thinking the other day that I actually, when they said you couldn't wave dash in Brawl, I like didn't believe it, and I like tried to do it.
You were like, but let the Luigi main figure out if we can wave dash, okay?
Yeah, exactly. But then I loaded up my 2 GB SD card with Project M and like picked Luigi and moved around a little bit, and just didn't look back from there. Pretty much.
Were you big into PM? Were you a big PM guy? I feel like there's there's a subsect of people who are really into PM, and then there's a subset of people who are like, yeah, it's alright.
I think it was like a gateway drug for me almost, because I didn't have Melee at home, and I had Brawl, and I had an SD card, so I was like, all right, I'm just gonna load PM in. But I never really like entered a whole bunch of PM tournaments or anything like that. I kind of would like to, honestly. I think it's kind of hype. I would have loved to have played some PM online. Oh, damn. I would have loved to have played some PM online, but they don't have rollback netcode. So,
really?
Yeah. Not yet anyway. I know there are some people working on it, and it sounds like it's more complicated than it is for Melee. Yeah. I couldn't tell you why.
Yeah, but, exactly. I'm not nearly smart. Even like when people talk about like net play and net codes and all that, I'm like, sure.
Yeah, right. It's complicated.
I press button, make game go.
Yeah, but we do have, I'm a PM believer. We have PM at Smash Camp. We have every time. I'm glad that it's coming back to some stuff now. Like it's going to be at main stage. Like Riptide's a big thing. So I'm glad the PM community is getting their due as far as being a part of major tournaments now, at least more than it has been for the past 5 or 6 years.
Yeah. Well, like, because obviously they dropped off the face of the earth because Big Daddy Nintendo didn't like Project Melee.
Yep.
Those poor bastards. Are you a Luigi in PM as well?
Yeah. I don't have any like PM specific characters that I play there. So it's like Luigi in Spaces if I'm gonna play the game for the most part.
You hear someone growing, you're like, fine, switch over to Fox.
I kind of wish I had like a PM character. Maybe that's something I'll lab.
There you go. Especially now that it's coming back hot. You got to pick up a Charizard, man. You got to be an Ivysaur main or something. Something equally weird as Luigi.
I do play Pokemon Trainer in Ultimate.
Oh,
I don't think there's a lot of skill that's transferable though between those characters and PM and Pokemon Trainer in Ultimate.
Maybe Charizard. I feel like his at least his aerials are like mostly.
I could see that for sure. Yeah.
Are you an Ultimate guy? Are you into Ultimate at all? I know there's like it's kind of a divide thing where people are like, it's all right,
I think it's good. I think it's fun. I obviously don't like it as much as Melee.
Right.
I don't think any game in general comes close. But I did it a lot for work. My job has been to organize esports events basically for the past like 3 years now. So a lot of that has involved Smash Ultimate. So I've kind of gotten into the game because of that. I've put like a couple thousand hours into it.
Damn.
So I've put like a good chunk of time into Ultimate. And I think it's fun. I think I'm a little bit nice in Ultimate
just
too.
A smidge. I feel
just
like all the Melee TOs who get into Ultimate are like, I'm a little nice at it. Like, I feel like that's what all the Melee guys do that. They come into the next Smash game and they're like, oh yeah, like if I put the time in, I'd be sick, but I just
I
don't,
do.
I don't.
Yeah. I do think we all kind of assume it's just like piss easy because there's no advanced techniques in the game.
Because you're not
when
giving your
compared
wrist
to Melee.
tendinitis. Like,
Yeah, but I think on the flip side of that is you run into like a min or something, and you absolutely know nothing about the matchup, and you just get washed. So I don't know. Like my hierarchy of Smash games to get into as far as playing a tournament is probably like Melee, of course, and then PM, then Ultimate. And then nothing else matters except maybe Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl when that comes out.
Hey, I'm excited about the Nickelodeon game, man.
I'm hyped too. I was a huge Nickelodeon kid growing up, and I've always thought, so I'm always like kind of concerned about like the Smash community seems to have these like cycles of the game's popularity a little bit.
Yeah.
Where like, new game comes out and obviously it's like a huge hit. And for a few years, it's really popping off. And then like towards the end of that cycle, at least for like the newest Smash game, there's seems to be a bit of a downturn. Like, Brawl was kind of dead by the time like 2012, 2013 came around. Like Smash 4 was dwindling a little bit back in like 2017. But I think that it's always good to be like looking out for other things, especially if you're like concerned with like making a career in esports like I am. I'm always like looking out for other things that I think might be able to like build similar communities. And I think the IP is huge for the Nickelodeon game. Yeah. Like it's obviously nothing compared to Smash, because Smash is like every important video game character ever, in it, pretty much. But like people fucking love Nickelodeon, dude. It's like it's gonna be huge, I think. I hope it is anyway. So I'm really excited for that.
Have you gotten the same text? Because I'm like the Smash friend of like my like more normie seems like a rough word, but like that, right? And everyone texts me like, so what do you think about this Nickelodeon thing? Because is it going to be good? And I'm like, well, I don't fucking know. Probably. Like, I'm going to play it, to be clear. Like,
yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a topic of conversation, right? Because you bring into like Slap City, and they're like, I have no idea what that means, and I'm like, trust me, it's good, right? It's going to be good.
Yeah. I'd be like, well, I mean, like, it looks like I remember the day that the trailer dropped, and all the Smash people went live on Twitch, and they were like, we have to look at this trailer. We have to pick every single frame apart. Is there wave dashing? And I remember watching through it, and then all my friends started texting me about like this Nickelodeon game, and I was like, well, it's made by the Slap City guys, and everyone's like, is SpongeBob gonna be fun? Like, I don't actually give a shit. Like,
but if the answer is yes, then that's sick, right?
Yeah, right.
Because then you pique people's interest.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be. So let me ask you this. So you say you're always looking for like the next kind of esports opportunity. Does that for you go outside of the like fighting games and specifically like the Smash like games? Like, are there any other esports that you kind of look at and go like, that'd be cool?
The one weird one I think is for me, sports games. Okay. Because those were like actually the first games that I like ran tournaments for. It was just like me and my friends playing FIFA. And I've done a little bit of like FIFA tournament play in my time. And I think that it's weird that there isn't a similar culture to Smashes for sports games. And I get that a lot of the reason that's the case is because the developers have made it so that it's like heavily emphasized on like the pay to win modes that are in the game and stuff like that. And like, the sort of thing that you're used to as maybe, a Smash player and somebody who like grew up playing sports games is like sitting down with somebody and playing the game. Yeah. On the same console and stuff like that. And I think that's a cool opportunity for sports games to at least, to have some sort of like in-person community where people can do that stuff. And I think that there's some weird problems with like sports game esports. Like, obviously they have like developer support, which is cool, but it's for the pay to win modes. In the case of 2K League, like 2K League runs on a build of the game that is not publicly available to people. Really? So like, if you were to organize a tournament using the same rule set as 2K League, like, it's just impossible because you don't have the build of the game. So, I think it would be cool. Maybe this is just me. I think it would be cool to go out on like a Sunday afternoon and get like 20, 30 people together and have a good old fashioned double elimination bracket where I'm picking the Milwaukee Bucks and you're picking the Los Angeles Lakers and we're having at it.
Yeah. Do you think part of it then, like the reason, because they have the support, they have the developer support, but it also seems like weirdly controlled. Like, do you think the part of the reason why they don't get as much traction is because there isn't that same ability to get really grassroots about it?
I think that's probably true to a certain extent. I mean, I think in general, there's a problem with, game developers using esports primarily as a marketing mechanism rather than something that is actually like a part of the game, rather than something that is like a community building effort specifically, which I think ultimately it can become a marketing thing.
Yeah,
if they like commit to that, right? But I think they probably just see it as like this sort of like far-fetched, weird long-term thing.
Yeah.
Because like you look at the esports landscape and you really only see like one profitable esports venture, which is LCS. And everything else is like you're committing to sinking marketing dollars into it, and that's it.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Burning money essentially and hoping that it works.
Yeah, but I think that there's room for there to be like business models that are based off of running tournaments for games.
Right.
I think that there's an appetite out there for that sort of thing. And I think that there is a way to make that work for game developers. It's just a matter of getting them to like commit to something that is that like, far-sighted, I guess you could call it.
Do you think so? Like, do you think part of it comes from the idea, like, I feel like there's a different culture surrounding sports games, like to where I feel like there's not necessarily that same, I guess, just kind of like a nerdy, kind of like try hard, sweaty energy. Like, I feel like the 2K guys are, and like, I love sports games. I think they're fun as hell, but like, I've never sat down to play Madden and been like, I'm going to get so fucking good at this. Like the Eagles are winning every Super Bowl for the rest of my life. Like,
I do think that's definitely a thing because I think a problem inherent in those games, especially the simulation type sports games, is that they are primarily designed to be just that, simulations of the sports that they are representing. And then they are designed to be good video games after that, which I think they have to do because that's the way that they're going to sell the most games, right? Like people want to buy the new game that has the new roster that you get to play as your complete team, or you get to make an ultimate team or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think like it would almost like my perfect storm for this is like a new NBA Street comes out or something like that. And it's this, and it's a game that is primarily designed to be a good video game,
right?
As its focus. And I think that would kind of be the money for it. I think that would make it so that it's so that you don't have that problem of people, because I do think the problem is because the gameplay is there are a lot of excuses to be made about it, right? There's a lot of emotional hedging to be done by people who are like, yeah, well, you have fucking, you have Giannis on your team and he's busted. So I do not accept that I have lost this in a legitimate way. That doesn't exist in fighting games. And I don't think it would exist in arcade styles. Well, I mean, it does. I think that there's no legitimate reason for it to exist in fighting games.
I tend to agree.
Yeah, I think that, sometimes you'll pass the ball and your player who is supposed to catch it will just like his arms will snap in half or something like that in sports games. Like because of how much reality they are trying to pack into the game, into the video game realm. Sometimes it just breaks in a way that is like, that would be unacceptable in a fighting game.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Fox falls through the stage and you're like, well, what the fuck do we do now? Like,
exactly. Yeah. And if you're playing Pokemon Stadium transformations on it, might happen sometimes, but it's so infrequent that we just, either let it slide or refreeze Stadium. But I think that, there is kind of a legitimate reason to be like concerned about that when it comes to sports games. That leads to a culture of them kind of, begrudgingly playing the game if they do in some cases.
Do you think there's like a melee type scenario that could happen where everyone like just kind of firm handshakes all around, agrees to pick up like Madden 05 and is like, this is the one, like we're gonna make a Madden 05 league? That's the one.
I think that would be incredibly hype. I love stuff like that.
Yeah.
One of my favorite YouTube channels is MLW Wiffle Ball, where it's just these like high school and I think college kids in this like small town in Michigan who have for 10 years been recording and uploading to YouTube just 3-on-3 wiffle ball games and just making like a ton of content related to it. And I think that stuff is so hype. I think it gets to the ethos of why everyone loves things like Melee.
Yeah.
It's because ultimately it's just about like doing cool stuff with your friends.
Yeah. It never lost that mentality like that, where it's just like a group of homies who just really love a game.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that you have to have some sort of spark that makes people interested in that, because I think we've seen that, Melee's popularity can waver over time. It's not something that's just like inherent to the game, right? Mm-hmm. There have been dark ages for sure. But I think as long as that's there, and as long as you can like gather people who are dedicated to it, it could happen for anything. Mm-hmm. And I think it's really hype when stuff like that happens. Like, stuff like the classic Tetris competitions. Finding that sort of community in places where you like wouldn't necessarily expect to find it, I think is a really beautiful thing.
Yeah. If you could get one game and just be like, boom, this is an esport now. What's the Cheat's ultimate esport?
Oh my God. That's such a hard question. I have to like go back through my childhood.
You gotta go through the Rolodex.
For some reason, the first thing coming to mind for me is that in like Sonic Adventure 2, you could like make your chows sumo wrestle or something like that. So, something like that, maybe.
Oh my God. Can you imagine a timeline in which everyone brings their like GameCube memory card, pops it into the system for their 1v1s, and they like pick their dark chow with bare arms to go have a karate fight?
Yeah. Oh, it's so sick.
Someone has to set that up. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's such a good question. I think there are so many good answers. There are so many good like backyard baseball, even stuff like that. It's to go deep back into the childhood. Man, I think there are so many good answers to that question.
There is a YouTube channel. I'll shout them out. I think they just changed the name to, I think they're Dinger City Baseball on YouTube. They started off as a backyard, like just homies playing backyard baseball, and then they became like the Mario baseball community, and they had like the speedrunners in there and the players in there, and everyone like did tournaments and shit. Now I think they just do like all the baseball games. So shout out to those guys. But I can't imagine a better universe than Mario Baseball being an esport.
I love that too. Yeah, that's the Mario. I love the Mario sports games just in general. Mario Golf is maybe a little bit limited, but aside from that, Mario Tennis, Mario Strikers. One of my good friends, actually, Ninji. He's a PR player here from Arizona. He was like ranked #1 on the Wii version of Mario Strikers like online ladder.
That rat bastard was always roasting me in Mario Strikers Charge.
Yeah, exactly. That was him.
Piece of shit.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think it's all super hype. I think if you're out there and you love one of those games, I will 100% support you.
Amazing.
In your endeavor to make it a community.
You heard it here first, folks. If you need the Cheat to commentate your Chow Battle Royale,
exactly.
He is there.
I'll learn.
Learn the frame data of the Chows.
Yeah, I'll sink the time into it.
I would be fascinated to know if there was there must be something behind it, but it seems completely random.
Yeah.
I swear to God, you could get the most absolutely zooted Chow in the world, and there's just a coin flip that it's going to lose.
We have to reverse engineer the game to figure out what's really going on in there.
We need to get the Mewtwo King of Chow battles.
Yeah, there you go.
Crack that shit open and be like,
exactly.
The Halo Chows have exactly 3 more frames than the Devil Chows. Optimal.
Yeah, there you go. It'll happen, I'm sure.
Okay, I just want to. So you've been playing a lot of Spaces lately. I've been playing a bit of Spaces lately.
Oh yeah?
Can we? Do you want to do a quick Fox Ditto for the fans?
Yeah, let's hop back on the sticks here.
Let's hop on the sticks.
What color do you pick?
I'm a red fox.
Okay, good. I was gonna say I'm in your dojo, so I'll defer to you. But I play blue, so
perfect.
So it's good.
I respect blue as a color choice. I love blue fox.
I think red's the second best one for sure. I have no respect for green foxes.
Really? Calling IBDW out.
Yeah, exactly. And Mewtwo King and Silent Wolf and a lot of other
Silent Wolf's been through enough, man.
True. He's out here. I don't know if he's still speedrunning Donkey Kong Country or whatever. But.
That dude, I swear to God, he would put in so many hours of that Pokemon Stadium 2 and like Donkey Kong Country. Just hours.
So hype.
And then he'd be like, I can't play Melee and my wrist hurt. And he'd sit there for 12 hours playing Stadium 2.
I hope he's good.
Me too. He just seems like such a nice dude.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. We ready?
I'm ready.
Should we get into it? All right. Cool.
So do you think, okay, because I have a theory, right? I have a theory that low tier mains actually are better at Smash. This is my theory because these little crackhead Fox kids on NetPlay only know how to play like Spacies and maybe Falcon. And I feel like the low tiers are made in the salt mines to be ready to deal with jank and to dish jank out.
Yes,
There's no shame.
See, as a Luigi player, I have felt that the opposite is true about me specifically. I don't know that I could speak to a wider trend, but yeah, I don't know. I've seen some cracked Spacies from some floaty mains before.
That's true.
So you know what? There might be something to that.
Are you what was it, a Genghis Juan? Are you a Genghis Juan defender?
Sure, whatever HBox wants to do, I'm down for the cause. I just want HBox to follow his heart. That's all.
Just want HBox to be happy.
That's literally it. I want him to be free from Nick Yingling's grasp once and for all.
So actually, that's another thing I want to ask about. So how much do, in terms of I don't know how much you're allowed to speak on it, but how much do the players themselves get input on the summit sketches and like the content that gets made? Because that was my favorite one. The I'm Nick Yingling was, I think, the best one this year.
They were shooting. So I helped write the welcome back one.
Okay.
The one with like Fox Gang and stuff like that. They were not telling players like anything about what the context of the shot was or anything like that. They have very little knowledge. I think for the most part, the idea is to streamline it as much as possible because they're not actors.
Yeah, they're just trying to play Melee and like they just show up to shoot day.
Yeah, exactly. But HBox fucking killed it in that.
He did.
What else can you say?
Yeah.
What a performance.
What a Oscar nomination. Oscar nomination of the year for the Smash community.
Yeah, for sure.
HBox in that. So do they literally just like show up and then like whoever from BTS just comes over and is like, hey, you gotta film something today?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, there's a day dedicated to it before the tournament begins. It's called Media Day.
Right.
And most of it gets done then.
Okay. And then they just spend like the 3 or 4 days or whatever editing them.
Yep, exactly. Which is incredible.
Insane.
That they crank out that much content in that period of time. And it's of that quality,
Right, yeah.
It's wild.
Did you get to I'm just happy I took a stock. I was afraid I was gonna get Jimmy Ford.
There you go.
I was like shooting lasers like I'm getting up percent, brother. That's it.
Yeah. There you go.
Did you get to screw around on any of the other summit stuff? I know they had the obstacle course and they had all this other kind of stuff, or were you busy with your
Did play 3-on-3 basketball.
Yes.
Which
one
was
of the
great.
greatest things in Smash history, in my opinion. That was phenomenal viewing. I want sports at every single Smash tournament from now on.
I think unfortunately, you might not get it from Smash Summit. Now we do have 3-on-3 basketball at Smash Camp.
Yes, best idea.
So yeah, we're gonna try to stream it this year. There have been some difficulties with that in the past, but hopefully we can do that. But apparently, I hit Toussaint in the face pretty bad while we were playing ball, and he was bleeding from his brow. I have no recollection of this. I've gone back and watched the tape too, and it looks like all ball to me.
Right.
But
That's
you know,
what
I
they all
gotta
say.
apologize. I do have to apologize again to Toussaint for that.
I remember, I think it was like in the post conference when they were talking about it, and he was like, yeah, Cheat just beat the shit out of me. And I was like, let's go, Cheat. That's how we play basketball where I'm from.
You know, sometimes you gotta, it's a contact sport.
Yeah.
You know,
I completely agree.
but that's the reason why we might not see it at another Smash Summit.
It's the liability.
Yeah.
Listen, sometimes when you get a bunch of when you get a bunch of nerds together to play sports, I don't think there's another thing that's more pure than that.
It's fantastic, right?
Whose idea was that? Was that a BTS thing, or was that like, did that come? I assumed it came from the Nick Yingling thing. I assumed it came
No.
from Ratio.
It was planned beforehand. And this actually was something that we were intentional about.
Okay.
Because we knew that there would be basketball there. We made basketball related content.
Okay.
And also the favorite team were in the finals. So it was like a perfect convergence for us where we could just, you know, make a lot of the content about basketball.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, we knew beforehand.
How far in advance do you guys get the kind of like rap sheet of summit events? Like, because I know like it's like the last vote in I think was like 2 weeks before the event.
Yeah, it was really close. You know, like I didn't know the commentary schedule until like the day of.
Jesus Christ.
To be honest.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I guess it's fine because, you know, they're bringing you out there and you're just going to be there all day.
Right.
And, you know, you're just kind of blocking off. Yeah, you're just blocking off all that time. They're going to feed you. They're going to, you know, they're going to shuttle everyone to where they need to be and all that stuff. So like it works out fine. But, you know, yeah, it was like, it was pretty soon before the event started that we like, you know, had all of that set out.
Yeah.
And ready to go and stuff.
Because I always wonder about that, because it seems so organized. And I know that there's like, I've hosted events. There's no way it's as organized as it looks. Because again, some of these people have like 2 weeks notice and day jobs that they just have to show up to a house or an office or a studio or whatever in LA and play Melee for 4 days and like that, have scripts handed to them and just be like, yo, you need to you need to cry on the floor. We're gonna film it, and then don't worry about it. Or you have to go on an obstacle course, and also pools are in 5 minutes.
Yep.
Like
exactly. I mean, Nick, he didn't realize that he'd have to fly out. I think it was on like Tuesday or whatever. So he was like actually worried about getting the time off from his job. So yeah, it's real, you know. People are you know, I don't want to say putting their lives on hold for it, because you know it's still hype and Nick was still able to go with no problem.
Yeah,
all that stuff. But sometimes, you know, yeah, that's the unfortunate reality of us not being able to make this a career for like everyone. Is like, you know, people have to have day jobs when they play Melee.
Well, so I feel like it's the side that people don't see. It's even like there was a story that came out about Olympic athletes and how they train their whole lives and they're like 22, they go to the Olympics and then their career is done and they have to be a bank teller. And like no one sees that side. And the same thing with people can be like PR'd in their region or even like top 50 and they're still going to school. They have day jobs. Like they're not signed to a team. They're not streamers or anything. They're just like people who are really sick at Melee for no reason.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what happens. You know, that's why I think I talked about this a lot when like Nick was campaigning, but I think like you almost have to have the mentality that the Melee community is like worth joining just based upon its own merits, just like based upon being a part of a community like that. And I believe that to be true. I think that's, you know, being a part of something where you are with other people who are enthusiastic about the same thing you are is, you know, it's like it's hugely helpful to people. And it's a great like socializing mechanism, I guess. So I think that like, you know, it's worth it. If you're out here and you're like, I don't know if I want to join the community because it's got like 20 years of history and I'm probably not going to be very good. And I don't really know where to get started. Like it's going to be worth it. I think.
Of course.
You know, you will find a way. If you are going about it in the right way, you will find a way to have a good experience within the community. And in a lot of cases, I think like make a pretty significant impact. You know, it's a weird thing where like a lot of Melee people who have gotten involved with like organizing events and stuff like that and doing content have gone on to like get esports industry jobs. I think like disproportionately to other communities.
Probably. It's well, because it's so tight knit, right? I feel like there's very much that attitude of like, if I'm eating, my homies are eating too. Like if I make it, like if I get signed, then I'm gonna make sure this guy gets signed, or at least he gets like something.
Yeah, which is, I mean, you could call it nepotism, but
it exists everywhere. I don't know, man. Especially in esports, it comes down to that. Like, I think the thing that people forget about esports is that A, it's such a young industry that there still isn't really rules, really, and B, like all of the esports started because like I'm really sick at Melee and you're really sick at Melee. Who's the sickest at Melee? And that's how every esport ever started, like for the most part.
I do think also that by being a part of something that does have that, you know, that sort of ethos of everyone being enthusiastic about this thing and everyone, you know, having some sort of contribution to make to the community, you do just happen to like come in contact with a lot of like really talented people who are doing a lot of really good work. And so, you know, it's not to say that it's like unwarranted or anything. Like that's, you know, that's something that I value a lot about being a part of the Melee community is that you just like, you know, you get to stand in awe of all of the sick shit that your friends do, basically, which is amazing.
Speaking of the community, the community aspect of Smash, one of my favorite parts about, I guess, tertiarily being in the Melee community is Smash Twitter, and I want to run an experiment with you, Mikey. This is a new segment that I like to call "Getting My Guests Canceled on Twitter."
All right.
So I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions, some hot takes that I want from you to see if we can get you canceled on Smash Twitter.
Let's give it a go.
Let's start with I think this is a newer one. Captain Falcon, cool or cringe? This is a debate, I think.
Yeah, he's cool. Yeah. He's sick.
Okay.
Muscle man, electric knee. Just from the pure aesthetics, he's sick. I don't care about game. I think every character is kind of cool in their own way in terms of gameplay. I'm not one who's going to be a complainer about Puff or Ices or anything like that. But if Captain Falcon doesn't make you feel something sometimes, then you're lying to yourself.
I think part of it too comes from the people on Twitter who don't go to tournaments, because when you go, especially go to a major with the big speakers, when you hear a knee boom through a whole thing, you're like, oh, that was the sickest thing I've ever seen.
I will admit that I have had the impulse before where like a crowd cheers for like a stomp knee or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, all right, guys. Like, we've seen this before.
Yeah.
But then, you know, like I find myself like uncontrollably popping off over like up their knee and stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's a visceral thing.
There's something about him that just gets you, gets you excited. The caveman brain.
Logically, I don't know if it's true, but I have to appeal to emotion on this one and just say that it evokes something, you know?
The Fox Marth matchup.
50-50.
50-50. Okay.
Straight
I love this. Complete coin flip. Who's ever's better on the day.
I think it's so winnable from both sides, I think, that it's negligent.
Okay.
Whether, you know, you could give the advantage to Marth here or Fox there or whatever. I think that Fox practically has all of the tools to beat Marth to the extent that it's 50-50.
Does part of that come from the fact that Mango did just win Smash Summit? Would this question have been different if he had lost?
I 100% would have said this before.
Okay. I like that. I respect that.
Yeah.
Is Jigglypuff the best character in the game?
No. But I don't know. Like
the Foxmans are gonna be pissed at us. They're gonna be like, these fucking floaty players.
maybe you could say that, but I do think, to be fair, that there is a lot of Jigglypuff stuff that is as of yet unimplemented. And the reason I believe this is because I have watched CPU Zero at work, reaction tech chase resting, doing basically like comboing anything into rest at all at any time in ways that you do not expect to see it. And, you know, I don't necessarily see all the top puffs doing that yet, but if they do, if they hit the lab, like my boy CPU Zero has been, there, I don't know. Puff might just be the best character in the game, but as of yet, I think that Puff loses to Fox and Marth. I'll say it.
Only Fox and Marth.
I think only Fox and Marth.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Falco's kind of even. Captain Falcon's kind of even. Sheik is pretty even to Puff favored.
Yeah, I feel like I would say Puff favored. I feel like there was a time where there was like, I feel like when Hungrybox was on top undefeatable, everyone's like Puff's best character in the game. And then the Falcon started beating him and they were like, oh, he only loses to Falcon. And now I feel like the conversation, like, it keeps getting warped. And again, it's all Fox player propaganda, and I stand by that till the day I die. If that gets me canceled off Smash Twitter, I'll take it. But Fox player propaganda is too much.
I see. Yeah. Yeah. For what it's worth, I don't know that we should do like bans and best of 5 sets. I know that's a popular Fox main talking point and stuff like that. Like, I like our rule set the way it is.
Yeah.
Maybe put a ledge grab limit on there, but I think we're doing all right for ourselves.
I mean, it's been going on for like goddamn 20 years. I feel like there's only so much you can do to a rule set in that time.
Yeah, we're trying out here.
Bring back people pokey floats.
Oh God. No. Yeah. Well, that's a conversation for another day. That's fine.
Stadium, frozen, unfrozen, or banned entirely?
I didn't think I gave a shit all that much until I went and played CRT Melee with my friends, and they had Unfrozen Stadium on.
Yeah.
After having played a year of unranked, and I saw the rock transformation, and I was just like, I can't do this. Like, this is no longer Melee. So I've gone from normal Stadium being okay to Frozen Stadium absolutely being the wave.
Okay. My last one, and I think this one is the one that is truly gonna test the relationship that you have with Super Smash Brothers. Who is the GOAT of Melee?
Oh, it's Mango.
Okay.
It's Mango. He's done it in like 3 eras now, 4 maybe, depending on how you count things. But like, being the youngest player to win a Melee major at Pound 3,
mm-hmm.
to now being the oldest player to win a Melee major at Smash Summit 11, it's just like, to me, that ends the conversation right
mm-hmm.
there. I don't know if Armada came back and really gave it a go. I think Armada could take it back.
Okay,
it's possible. And there was a time in like 2017 where the argument probably could have been made that it was Armada, but Mango it's been 13 years now that he's been undisputedly top 5 in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and a lot of times top 1. Capable of winning the biggest tournament of the year, in any given year.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's got to be Mango.
This is for me as a filthy Armada fanboy, because I'm Mango Nation till I die. I've got to shine. It's all good before anyone gets mad. But where is Armada on the list for you? Because for me, clean number 2.
Number 2.
Okay.
Absolutely number 2.
Okay.
I mean, I think Hungrybox's dominance. Mm-hmm. For a while, very impressive.
Yeah.
But when Hungrybox isn't dominant, it looks different from when Mango and Armada are not dominant.
Yeah, he's so peak and valley, whereas I feel like Mango and Armada are up like above everyone else, and then when they're playing like shit, they're still like they could still win EVO. Like
right, yeah, it could happen.
Yeah.
I think every year Mango comes around and he gives you some reason to believe that on any given day he can beat anyone.
He wins a major a year, and the nation just copiums it for the rest of the time.
Yeah, exactly, and nobody else can say that, right?
Yeah.
But who knows what happens with Zane? Like,
oh man,
if Melee sticks around for another 15-20 years, which who knows when it's going to die?
Can you imagine?
Yeah, we'll see what Mr. Zane can do.
We'll all be gray, and I'll still be on this podcast being like, "Do you remember? Do you remember Royal Flush?"
Yeah, eventually everyone's controller will just, it'll just be macros and shit. Like, everyone's gonna be roided out by the time we get there.
It'll be brain macros.
Completely.
Like, we'll just stare at Slippy. Will get it to a point where we'll just stare at it, and it'll play perfectly, and everyone plays Fox. I think that's just 20XX, I think.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe it's true.
Maybe the prophecies are true. Mikey, I want to thank you. I want to thank you so much for being here. We're going to get to the last part of the show. It's my favorite part of the show. This is the whole reason that this show exists. It's called the lightning round. And what it is I have accumulated a rock solid, completely impregnable list that I stole from the internet of this or that questions.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put 1 minute on the clock. I'm going to ask you as many of these this or that questions I can get through in that time. I'm going to compare the answers you give me to the answers I have prepared to see how close we are to becoming best friends.
Oh, it's like Newlywed Game. Sick.
It's
okay.
exactly like that, but for legal reasons, I've never heard of a Newlywed Game in my life.
Okay, sorry. Yeah.
I definitely did. I definitely
post.
did rip that off like shamelessly. But for legal reasons, I'm 25, so I can justifiably say I've never seen a Newlywed Game in my life.
It's allegedly the Newlywed Game in Minecraft.
Yeah. All right. I've got my questions up here. I've got my timer ready. If you're ready to go, I'm ready to go.
All right. Well, let's get it.
In 3, 2, 1, cookies or cake?
Cookies.
Cats or dogs?
Cats.
Computer games or console games?
Oh, console. Just because of Melee.
Pop music or rock music?
We'll go with pop music.
Stuffed animals or dolls?
Stuffed animals.
Pancakes or waffles?
Jeez. Waffles.
My man. Hot chocolate or coffee?
Here we go. Neither. I don't like hot liquids, but I guess if I had to pick, it would be hot chocolate.
Okay. Morning or night?
Night.
Text message or call?
Text message. Discord.
Libraries or museums?
Museums.
French or Spanish?
Spanish.
Summer or winter?
I'm an Arizona boy. I got to pick winter.
Oh, really? Okay. Love or money?
Love.
I love when the minute timer ends right on love or money. It's my favorite question to end on.
There we go.
I'm going to tabulate the score. While I do that, I want you to take this time, give all the shoutouts you want, whatever you're working on, whatever you're plugging, where the people can find you on the internet.
Yeah. Hi, folks. My name's Mikey. I will maybe be this man's best friend in a second here. My Twitter is @thecheat.com. I sometimes stream at twitch.tv/the_cheat. Smash Camp registration will probably be open here relatively soon. Yeah, I don't know. I love my wife. That's about it. Hi, Mom.
So cute. I've never. Oh man, my mom doesn't watch this show. What the fuck?
Yeah, my mom's been a fan for a while. So.
Oh, God bless her. God love her. Absolutely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Mikey, it's been an absolute pleasure. It's been a slice. It's been a joy. It's been everything in between. Even I have never had so much fun getting absolutely tossed in my favorite video game. I want you to know that you scored today a grand total of 8 out of 13 points. And where I'm from, that's a pass.
All right. C's get degrees. That's what we're talking about here.
Goddamn right they do. Speaking as an art student, boom. Yes. C's get degrees, baby. I want to thank you so much for being on. This has been an absolute blast. I want to thank everyone at home who's listening or watching. If you're watching on YouTube, all I need you to do, I want you to look me dead in the face. All I want you to do is I want you to hit a like. I'm going to ask you to do everything. I want you to like, and I want you to subscribe. Algorithm, I know. I get it, okay? Go in the comments. Literally, just type like the word comment, hit send. I don't give a shit what you put there. You can put, I hate Cole. He's dumb and stupid. The cheat is sick. Go Birds, caw. Whatever. Just put something there for me. And then if you're listening on audio, whatever you're listening to, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Stitcher, whatever other bullshit you listen to, Spotify, obviously, because you're a human being, I want you to download it. I want you to rate it. I can't tell you how much to rate it because apparently that's not something you're allowed to do anymore. But hey, even if it's a 1 star, I appreciate the feedback. I want to thank Mikey for being on the show. It's been an absolute blast. Follow him @thecheat.com. Hey, if you own @thecheat, by the way, give it to the
man. Come on. Thank you for that. I deserve it.
If Jack
at
on
this
Twitter,
point.
if you're listening right now, come on. This man did not ratio an entire scene just to still have .com in his Twitter handle, for God's sake.
I am not above laundering money to get the Twitter handle. I'll say it publicly.
And that's how we get the show canceled. Thank you so much for listening. I want to thank Isabel Wing for the intro to our show, Let's Be Best Friends, and Seth Belvin for the outro. That's all the time we have for this week. So remember that your mom was your best friend at one point, so give her a call, and we'll see you next week.